everyone. It is Friday, a few Fridays before the big holiday Christmas. And I'm really excited to share a little bit with you about some holiday traditions that we do in our house, and also just talking a little bit about some gifts. So I've been talking about them on Instagram, and I thought I would bring the conversation over to my podcast. So let's get started. Number one tradition that we have or had was something that we did years ago when our kids were tiny. When they were born, my husband and I wrote a special note to each of them. We were just in awe of who they were and just having them and just the specialness of them being born that year, that we wrote our own little special thoughts to each of them when they were born and rolled it up in it was just like a little piece of paper on a notepad, and it wasn't even great quality pieces of paper, but we rolled them up into little scrolls and added them into a small ornament stocking. And it was just fun to do. I didn't think anything about it. I just thought it was a nice addition to our tree. And now we are still enjoying those little letters. We did it also for my son. But with my son, we did it when he was born. So obviously my daughter was older. She was almost 8 when he was born. Actually, she was 8 when Christmas rolled around. So she got to put in her little note to him as well. So he has 3 little notes, being the second born, and she has 2 notes, one from myself and one from her dad. So just genuinely precious to us, and we love reading those letters. I highly recommend it if you are going to have a baby this year or have had a baby this year, to write that special little note to your little one. The next tradition is basically one that, you can incorporate in your lifestyle and your family, is what I mean. And that is just spending purposeful, intentional time with your family during the holidays. I find that if I take them out of the home or take them, do something, buy tickets to a show, or it could be, we like to do escape games, and that has been a tradition for the last few years. And so whatever you enjoy and your family enjoys, just make a purposeful date, a couple of dates that you all can do, during this holiday season. And it doesn't have to be just for Christmas. I know that in the summertime, I purposefully plan events as well. So I'll buy everyone a ticket to a baseball game. And we do that as a family. So I highly, highly recommend doing some intentional dates with your family. And if it means saving all year long to buy show tickets or tickets to the Nutcracker, or in our family, an escape game, or going to see holiday lights, I highly recommend it. Those are the times where you make memories and you enjoy being together, and it's intentional, and it just is quality time to spend with your family. And that is, to me, what the holidays are about. It's about family. It's about being together and enjoying each other's company. So that is one of the things that we try to do every year. Another tradition that we have in our home is that we have a holiday party. We have a Christmas party every year where we invite all of our friends and family, and it's not a huge party, but it can be. Sometimes people bring other people, and that's great. We love it. We kind of open it up and have everyone just bring whatever they'd like, and to kind of participate in almost like a potluck. But I just ask everyone to bring their holiday favorites, and it just ends up being a wonderful time to connect with friends and with loved ones and people that you've seen here and there, but you haven't had a chance to have a good conversation because you just kind of see each other in passing or whatever. It's a great time to enjoy and relax and catch up on all the news. So, and they catch up with each other, which is great because some of these people don't know each other, but now they do because of holiday parties. In fact, this year alone, I remember 2 or 3 conversations where I've introduced someone and they're like, yeah, I met them at your party. And so I love hearing that. I love hearing that. And, you know, we all don't feel like we have the gift of hospitality, but we can just kind of wing it. That's what I do. I love throwing parties. I don't feel like I have the gift of hospitality, but I enjoy throwing parties and I enjoy going to parties. And I mean, I get hung up on my house isn't perfect. At the moment, my kitchen needs a huge remodel, but I'm just going to go with it. And even though people congregate around the kitchen, and I'm a bit sort of embarrassed because there's a couple of things that are kind of falling off their hinges kind of thing. And I just pray that they don't, it doesn't happen while they're standing near it. But you know what? I don't think they're coming to see my house. It's not like they're going to buy it. So I have to kind of get over that and just enjoy the fact that they're coming to see me and having a good time. And that's what I do when I'm going somewhere. I'm not going to see their home. They may have a beautiful home, but I'm not going to just do any kind of inspection or making sure that everything is in working order. So I'm hoping that that is how everyone else views coming to my house, because it isn't perfect, but it never will be. And it could have some improvement, and I'm going to work on it. But I think that I don't want to give up gathering together with loved ones and friends and family just because my home isn't exactly the way I want it or it needs some work. So put all that aside. I hope that has helped someone that is on the fence about doing something and inviting people over, because we all have it. It's at every stage. You know, some people have beautiful, enormous homes, and I have a good home, and I love my home. But everyone feels like it needs to be a little bit better. So no matter what stage you're in. So the last few traditions are just kind of things that we do normally. So one of the things that we do, we used to get a real tree, and we would, when they would shave off the bottom part of the little tree, we would keep that little round piece of wood, and we would write on there with a Sharpie or paint what year it was that we got that tree. So we have several of those discs of pieces of wood of all the trees that we've had throughout the years. So it is kind of fun to see, oh, that was a bigger tree, this is this kind of tree. It's just nice to kind of display it and just remember the last few years of going to get a tree. That is another one of our traditions, is going to get a tree. And it's gotten harder as the kids have gotten older. Just everybody has, work or commitments here and there. So we've moved on to a artificial tree this year, but I still think fondly of those times when we went to go chop down a real tree. Or actually, when we went to pick out, we didn't chop it down. We've only chopped down a real tree maybe once or twice in our lifetime here. But we enjoy picking out our own tree. Another tradition that we love is stockings. And what we add to our stockings is just whatever we want to add to each stocking. Usually some people will fill it with candy, or some of us will do chapstick, which is like lip balm kind of thing. But the one thing that I have made a tradition of, and a friend of mine, Lisa, had showed this to me, and I locked onto it because I just thought it was such a cute idea. And it is an orange and a quarter in each stocking. So the quarter is, so it's an orange for health and a quarter for wealth. So that's just kind of a blessing in each stocking for everyone to take for the new year, in hopes that you have good health and continued wealth. So that is a wonderful tradition that we've kept going, and we love our stockings. That's, to me, that's my favorite part, because it's small, little bitty things that people think of you and think to purchase for you, and it's not pretentious, it's not huge, and it's just kind of fun. I really, really love stockings the best. The last tradition that we do is we read the Jesus's birth story. I believe we read the Luke version. So there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I believe all of them have some sort of mention of the birth story, but we do Luke. So it is a great story, and we love reading about the beginnings and the very first Christmas. So that is very special to us, and we read it first before anything is opened, before any stockings, and right in the morning when we gather together, and we read that first and say a little bit of a prayer, and we go on from there. After the presents and stockings are opened, we, instead of having a huge dinner, we have a huge breakfast. We have everything from turkey, sausage, not turkey, sorry, bacon, sausage gravy, biscuits, eggs. Sometimes we have pancakes or waffles, and fruit, orange juice, you name it. And if it's for breakfast, we usually have it, and we have a big breakfast, and we love it. So those are our traditions that I wanted to share with you. The next thing I'm going to share are a few holiday gift ideas. So first I want to talk about a very special gift if you have a pet, dog, cat lover in your family. There are these personalized, and I think that you just kind of submit a picture. It's a personalized pet portrait necklace. They are the cutest, and they're just necklaces, and they come in like gold and bronze and silver colored. And you can just send a picture in, and it comes out in a necklace with your fur baby's name. I just love them. They're about like $20-something, and I just think that they're the cutest. That is one of my absolute favorites to gift someone who is a parent of fur babies, because I think that they get left out sometimes. So I love those. Another thing that I love are these wooden tongs for salad. And I've had those like plastic ones that you find, like they're almost kind of a disposable material. But I finally found some on Amazon that are wooden, and they kind of have that little spring, because you kind of want to keep them together. I mean, I hate those tongs where they're just like, salad grippers, and there's like separate, and you kind of have to use both hands. I like using one hand because you're holding the plate with the other hand usually, especially if you have people over. And so I like to have just like a one-handed kind of thing for tongs. So I found these, and they are, I think they're only they're under $10, but they're called spring salad tongs. And I'm going to link them. They're in my Amazon store. And as you know, to help raise support for Rising Stories podcast, we are supported by and sponsored by Amazon. So anything that you purchase using these links, it's no extra cost to you, but it does give us a little bit of a kickback since they are our sponsorship, and we get a kickback to help support this podcast. So I strongly urge you, if you're listening and you want to buy these tongs, go to the link provided in the show notes, or you can go to my store and I'll have that link as well. And it's just under like Amazon backslash shop, and then backslash or / Corrine Sandifer. So it should be under that. That should be able to get you there. Great tongs. I just recently saw Jennifer Garner used them on her non-cooking show, Making Salad. So these are really cool. And the next thing that I love are these savory party crackers. And I think I've mentioned it before, but it's on my shop under Things from the Show. That's if you go to the Amazon store, you'll see a tab that'll say Things from the Show. And that's where most of these are, but they are the party cracker seasoning. And you take like a box full. I know I've mentioned this before on the show, but they're so good. I have to mention them again, is you've got to get them and enjoy these crackers. But they, you can toss them around. They kind of taste homemade. It's because it's just the seasoning and you actually have to do them. So I highly recommend those. It's savory party cracker seasoning. The last thing on my list, I guess this is turning into a bit of a show mostly for moms or mostly for people who cook. But this is one of my favorite cooking utensils, and it is a flat whisk. So it's not a round whisk, so it doesn't have like kind of all sides. It's more of a flat. So when you are making something and you've got to whip it within a pan, it doesn't kind of, ball around. So it just you can kind of whip it. And I love this flat whisk. It's just amazing. I enjoy using it and making all kinds of gravy, or, if you're doing a reduction kind of thing with some balsamic glaze, it's perfect for that. So that is all for my holiday gift and holiday traditions. I know I didn't share too many gift ideas, but I just pulled out a few that I had thought about and what I'm getting this year. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, I shared the one thing that costs less than $3 that I am getting for my entire family. But I will share with you if you direct message me on Instagram. I'm at Corrine Sandifer. And I would love for you to give me some love and let me know how you are enjoying these shows, especially the Friday favorites. So I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. Make sure that you are staying tuned to when I put out another show. I just did a great interview with the lady across the pond in England. She is a dynamite lady who is going to share with you what is happening in London with Lean In UK. And she is a fabulous encourager for women and just helping move the needle towards gender equality in the workplace. And I am excited to share her interview in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, go check out the Amazon store and start your own family traditions. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.